And that's when we finally got the gun back from the monkey.
And welcome into Audible Diversion. This is your host, Logan.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are back. We are back, guys. This is Audible Diversion. We are back in full force. We got Shawn, we got Logan. Everybody's here. We're excited to be here. And this is Audible Diversion 5. And if you can't tell, this is a Skype show. If the audio sounds a little bit different, we're doing this over Skype. This is probably going to be the new norm for Audible Diversion, just a little bit easier that way. We just redid our logo. Really excited about that. Think it's really cool. Like to hear any feedback on that. And if you want to talk about the schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. So like Logan said, we are pumped to be back. It's been a little bit of a break, been pretty crazy, but we're finally back, ready to go. I feel like we have an awesome show lined up for you. Also, kind of solidified our schedule moving forward. So what we've decided to do is we are going to drop a new Audible every Tuesday. Give you something to listen to during your week, something fun. Not a lot drops on Tuesday. So after you've listened to your other Monday podcasts and everything, you got us in the middle of your week, help you get through that rough point. And then also we have field diversions. And for those football fans out there, that's our football specific podcast. If you're interested, check that out. We drop that every Thursday. Thursday night football happens, obviously, so get you ready for football, talk fantasy, predictions, everything involving that. So check that out if you're a football fan. If you're not, don't worry about it. We have something else. One more thing we have is called the Audible Diversion. A quick little 30-minute lunch designed for your lunch break. Some humor, some comedy on your lunch break. Hilarious. We're going to drop that at the first of each month, during some point during the first week of each month, more specifically. Haven't really figured out what day we're going to drop that on, but we're going to do that. And then after football season's over, we're going to switch and do our edibles each week. So we got some exciting stuff lined for whatever, your interests are, we got you covered.
Yeah, and if you can't tell by looking at what we're wearing, we are huge football guys. I got my Cowboys jersey, TB12. That is a huge football guy shirt.
TB12, just flexing on him right now, even though he hurt us by going to Tampa Bay. But that's for a field diversion topic.
And then doc review. So we're going to get back into that. Audible Diversion means we are reviewing. I guess this is not a documentary. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But The Haunting of Deborah Logan. It is spooky. We're planning on doing a lot of kind of theme stuff for these next few episodes. We're going Halloween. Deborah Logan, Shawn brought it up in his draft, so I'm going to watch it for the first time, and then we are going to talk about it next week. Give you guys a week to watch it.
Yeah, we're pretty pumped about that. I think it's a perfect, like Logan said, spooky season movie. I did tell him, and for our listeners too, don't watch this in the middle of the day. You need to watch it at night, when it's dark. Get in the right headspace. Don't do it, when it's going to just not come across scary at all. But for those listeners, you got a week. We'd be pumped to know your feedback, your thoughts, your review. Let us know as well next week.
Yeah, and then just quick overview. In this show, we are doing our In Other News segment. We're going to do some Would You Rathers. We're excited about doing that. We've been talking about doing that. It's just fun conversation. We are going to draft the worst Halloween candy. I bet you hear all the time the rankings of the best, but not as often do we talk about the candies that we hate to see when we're trick-or-treating. And with that, we can begin.
In other news, dun, dun, dun. Here's our segment. We found some hilarious / ridiculous headlines that were just published. Not necessarily during the last week, just crazy stuff we found. And I know Logan has some good ones. You want to go first?
Yeah, so my first one, just reading this headline gives you kind of a feel. So, emus have been banned for bad behavior, a hotel in Australia's outback says.
I don't even know. Like, my initial reaction is this a super Australian headline right there.
Yeah, so apparently this hotel, just these two emus just would come in and out and they would let them in. Mistake on their part, and then it was always fun for the tourists, like, hey, look, it's an emu in my hotel, I'm in Australia, look, this stuff happens all the time, that kind of just nonsense. And then they had bad behavior. So the quote was, emus have been banned from this establishment for bad behavior. So they kind of overstayed their welcome. They were taking too much food. They were having too much time in the limelight. So the hotel bar owner ended up banning the emus. No longer allowed.
First off, I love that that was not established before the emus had to come in and ban themselves. They had to act crazy to get themselves banned. That was not like a set rule. We allowed them in.
Yeah, they were completely allowed, but it was this bad behavior. If they had just behaved themselves, they'd still be allowed in this hotel.
And I would also 100% be one of those basic tourists that was pumped to see an emu in the lobby. I'll be honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Like, it's a super Australian vibe.
the emus were siblings. They were Kevin and Carol.
That is awesome that they even have names. So just do not serve this emu, and it's Kevin and Carol up there.
Yeah, so not only were they like regulars, they knew their names and everything.
Kevin, get out there. Get out, Kevin. I also, it's almost like the real life equivalent of like if you give a mouse a cookie, but it's like if you give an emu like a hotel room or like an open bar or something.
Yeah, French fries, I think, based on the article, were the favorite of the emus.
So if you give an emu, I guess if you run out of French fries, watch out. They turn on you. It's not fun for anybody. Australia seems like they just always have ridiculous headlines too, where it's like insert crazy specific Australian animal here and how its shenanigans affected the locals.
Yeah.
All right, that's a solid one. I guess I'll go one of mine next, and then we'll go back 20 years.
Yep.
Okay, so let me see. I will stick with the animals. Herd of charging cows in England kills second man this month.
Wow.
There's this local herd of cows in, I don't know, it's in a crazy village. I don't know how to pronounce it, but they're just like people are going to pet them and they're getting too close and they're just stomping these people. And there's been 2 people dead within 4 weeks of each other because they're trying to pet the cows and they're just running over them.
That, yeah, I
Like,
believe.
exactly. That's kind of what I thought. I was like, it makes sense, but also that it's just like it's premeditated at this point, I think.
Yeah. Like the best part is for the second time this month. Like the fact that we are doing it again. They ran it back. Like they murdered someone again.
Exactly. That's what made the headline for me. Is if it didn't have second man this month at the end of it, it'd
Yeah.
be like, that's an unfortunate death. But now it's like, you guys, your cows, they're killing off the locals.
Yeah, they're bad behavior, those cows.
So who wins in a fight, Kevin and Carol or the charging cows?
I guess cow versus emu. I don't know if it's
Humans.
2v2. If
Humans
it's
lose.
Yeah, no, there's no way one human versus 2 cows or 2 emus. I think that humans down every time.
Every single time, and then it's back to them. I don't know, just just insane. Just these animals are just on different continents killing the
Yeah.
locals or hurting business, whatever.
Yeah, I do think that I would take 2 emus over 2 cows in a fight.
I think so too. I think they're more elusive.
Yeah, they're more
And
elusive. I feel like yeah, I think just the speed is what you need in that battle.
and I also feel like you kind of know what you're going to get with a cow. I feel like emu has kind of a crazy factor to them, like a wild card.
Yeah, like the emu, you'd have to like set a trap or something. There's no way you're just gonna catch one. Like
Exactly.
it's gonna do like the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park. They're gonna just kind of converge on you.
I feel like it, yeah. And I feel like it'd be a brutal death, honestly, if they like really went at you.
Oh yeah.
Well, and that's our emu thoughts.
All right. And then I'm out of the animal realm for my last one. I came with two. So typo spell trouble for man's alleged attempt to fake his own death.
Sloppy work.
Yeah, so essentially this dude forged his death certificate and he misspelled like registry, I think it was. I'm trying to find exactly what he did. But he kind of just had sloppy work in general. He got found out from faking his own death because of a typo.
Instant reaction. Going back to Tiger King, Carol Baskin. When she like had the typo or whatever the weird error was on the death certificate, or that's
Yeah,
immediately what I think of. Sloppy work from stupid people.
yeah, dude. I wish we had the podcast when Tiger King came out because now I
Oh my
feel like
gosh.
we're too late. Maybe next year we could really get in on
Mm-hmm.
it, but at this point we were just too late. But dude, Tiger King, for those who haven't seen it, I mean, who,
Why
what
haven't
else?
you seen it?
I can't even describe it.
Right? And he's also in my backyard too, Fort Worth.
Oh, that's true. Did I tell you that my grandpa knew him?
Yes, I know you mentioned it because it was like
Yeah,
he was like a sheriff or something. Was that
yeah,
right?
dude. He like knew of him almost. So my grandpa was, I think he was like the manager or something at the grocery store that he worked
Hmm.
at, or he worked next to. So apparently Joe Exotic was in this pet store. I think he owned this pet store. So he would come in all the time because he just the grocery store's next door. Like we do that at work. We'll sometimes just get lunch at the grocery store. And
Yeah.
then the funniest part is my uncle showed him a picture like, "Hey, have you seen this man before?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I know this guy. Like he owned a pet store next to me." Because my grandparents don't have Netflix.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
and then my uncle just asking him questions. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, that dude was a total weirdo. He made everybody uncomfortable when he came in the store."
And he had no background to this
No,
conversation either. This was just broken out on him.
yeah,
Like that's hilarious. He was like, not only was he like, maybe he looks for. He's like, no, this guy's a weirdo. Like he knew exactly who Joe was.
yeah,
He's leaving impressions for decades.
yeah, because he must have been with that same haircut, you know, for 20 years for him to like
Oh,
really recognize like that.
I'm sure, or something equally as strange and weird, but probably the same crazy personality.
Yeah, and our last Tiger King fun fact is he was I think the sheriff of the town that got incorporated into the town I grew up in.
Hmm.
Um, grew up in a town called the Colony, Texas, and apparently wherever he was the sheriff, and then I think the colony absorbed him or something. So
Hmm.
I was I've been very close to Joe Exotic twice.
Right. It's almost like that would sound like such a culty headline. The colony is obviously not some weird colony. I know it sounds like it,
Yeah,
but it'd just be crazy to be like Joe Exotic in charge of the colony.
I that is a wasted opportunity for somebody.
It
Somebody has
really is.
by not doing
Honestly, shame on them because that's a gold mine.
that.
All
And
right, let me see. Go ahead.
you heard it here first. Maybe we trademark that.
That's true. Please tag us at Audible D Podcast or Odd D Pod, whatever our Twitter handle is. I'll have to clean that up. All right, so I still have. I guess mine are all animal related. I didn't realize it until now, but I have two more. So
Okay.
Fat Bear Week is back. Are you aware of this? Have you heard of
What
this? Fat Bear Week.
is that the title of your article? Or are you just saying in general?
Yes.
Oh,
Both.
okay.
So Fat Bear Week is back. Um, vote your favorite. Vote your favorite fat brown bear now.
Okay.
Exactly. So in Alaska, apparently the bears just go hard. They are just nomming on everything, getting real big and chunky, and we're putting cameras there, and we're just picking our favorite fat bear, who's getting fattest, what's he eating, and
Okay.
humans are apparently just eating this up. They're just live camming, almost like how you'd see like the zoos do the live, cam.
Yeah.
But you're just watching chunky bears go to town on whatever the bears are eating in Alaska.
I'm in. I am in.
Sold. I thought the same thing. I was like, that's ridiculous, but also where's the link to the camera? Because I'm definitely gonna vote. And I hope they have names. I'm sure they do, but I hope it's like yours, where it's like Kevin, Kevin the fat brown bear,
Kevin the fat brown bear.
right? And then my last one. This is just crazy. Russian town hires cat chief to attend to strays.
Wait,
So
can you say that again?
yeah, so Russian town hires cat chief to attend to stray cats.
Okay.
Yeah, so apparently this town in Russia has like a huge stray cat problem, and
Is
they
it a
hired
cat?
this. Yeah,
They
and then they
hired a
got
cat?
this. Oh, no, that'd be hilarious. There's one like queen cat. Um, but yeah, apparently they just hired this lady who just goes around and takes care of strays. But ultimately, it looked like, from what I was reading, is she would just go pet homeless cats all day.
That's
Like
that's the scam of the century.
it really is. She's just this crazy cat lady that just is getting paid to be like, here, cat. I don't really know what she's doing. It sounded like seriously, she's like sitting out in local Russian town park and petting stray cats, and she's got a government job,
Sure. Yeah. She's got
got
and she
benefits.
retired early. Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
what? Yeah. Let me see. But that was my kind of crazy articles. Those are my three. I think about some good ones. Kind of animal themed for the most part, I guess.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Well, there's our in other news. Dun, dun, dun.
All right, and
What?
soon there will be some sounds or something. We'll get some
Yeah.
transitions too. All right, so let's see here. We're going to move on to Would You Rather. All
Mhm.
right, so I will get started because I'm going to get started. So,
Yeah.
would you rather, because this is one that I think has actually happened before, not like this specifically, but I believe that I'll say it first and I'll explain myself. So, would you rather have unlimited international first class tickets or never have to pay for food at restaurants?
Huh.
Because I believe at one point maybe it was one of the major airlines who were like it's like it was like $250,000, but it was basically an unlimited pass.
Mm.
So they ended up losing a lot of money on that because more people bought it than they expected. But anyways, I just think that's great. Like I love to travel, I love to eat. I don't know. What do you think? What would you do?
So initially, I think you want to go for the tickets because you're like, man, like you've seen the price on them. It's several thousands per flight. But as much as I eat, I am gonna go with free food because in the long run, that's so much easier. You can walk into anywhere. Doesn't necessarily be a fancy restaurant. Even like a little gas station, you get food, not
Yeah.
paying for it. Yeah, I think that's a clear winner. I'm not paying for food again.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And the best part is, fun fact, if you don't know this, it's a nutrition fact. Free food has no calories in it. That's just a
Fact.
fact. You
Hmm.
pay for it, your body doesn't pay for it either. That's just the
Hmm.
rules.
Save you guys a college education right there. That's what you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. Would it change if it was limited to just like sit down restaurants and you could fly anywhere? So it's no longer like international tickets. What do you think? Would you
Mm.
make it a little bit more difficult? Because I do think that between international travel and free food, I'm going to take free food every time.
I think so too because I'll pay for the flight, but still get free food at whatever country I'm going to. But you said, okay, if I get free kind of like local flights in addition to, but my free food is only for sit down restaurants.
Yeah, like we're kind of flipping it now. So we're limiting the food, but we're unlimiting the flights because
I actually
the
think
original one was international flights, which here or there.
I actually think I would take the flights in that scenario though.
I think at that point I might switch as well because I don't, especially right now, 100% right now in the COVID era. No, I'm not eating at many restaurants at all. Definitely flying. Well, but then again, I don't want to fly either. But I mean, if I could fly from here to Houston or something, or here to whatever, just if I'm on the watching Food Network, and then I can just fly to the place I just saw, like I can just walk into the airport, then yeah,
Hmm.
I'll probably take it that way.
That's what I'm thinking too in like a post COVID era. Even for the weekend, you're like, hey, I want to go to San Diego for the weekend. Come back, you Airbnb it. That's all you pay, and your food there. That's fine. I spent the weekend in LA. Didn't cost me a dime, like of travel
Yeah,
expenses. I think that's a clear favorite because international is like you still got to plan. It's a whole thing. But local flights, you could fly pretty much anywhere for a weekend. A 3-day weekend, I'm going to New York.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I think that's a. I would use that one more where international. I feel like you would still have to plan it, and it'd be kind of a process, but it'd be a pretty awesome perk to fly for like Australia for free or something.
They're so much more expensive, but yeah. But I think
Yeah.
depending on the limitations, I think I still I'm gonna go with food. I don't know. I always like to go with food. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. Well, enough on that one. We got so many more to go through. What do you have?
Hmm. Okay, let me see. Here's what I have. Let's see. You know what? I have a food one too. I'll
Okay.
just go with that theme too. So, would you give up your favorite food for the rest of your life, or that's the only food you can have every single meal for the rest of your life?
Every meal, the rest of my life, I'm eating tacos because I assume I can do, or can I do different versions? Like, can I have my breakfast tacos? Maybe even like they started to make dessert tacos. Like
I
every meal is in the form of a taco, or it's just straight up a beef
I
taco.
I would think it would be all that encompasses the taco because
Okay.
I think it's fair to give you that category. But that sounds cool. But like 4 years in, you're like, okay, another
Yeah,
breakfast taco. But it's also like another breakfast taco.
I guess that's fair. But still, I am a creature of habit. almost my entire high school career, I brought a roast beef sandwich and chips to lunch. So I think I can make that work. What do you think?
I don't know because you and I probably still got a good 50 years left on this planet. And I think I'd rather take away my favorite food and still get to have everything else. I'll find a new favorite. Doesn't mean I won't miss the crap out of. Mine's actually probably chicken Alfredo, so
Yeah.
that'll probably be mine. Yeah,
All right. Fair enough.
yeah. Let me see. What else you got?
All right. So I mean, I was between two. I didn't want to give too many. Didn't want this segment to be the entire show. So I'm trying to decide between two. There's one I definitely want to talk about, and then we'll kind of get to this one. So this one's more funny than anything. I will see what kind of real discussion stems from it. But would you rather be a reverse centaur or a reverse mermaid or merman?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Which head do you want? Do you want a giant fish head or a giant horse head?
That's a tough one. Oh my gosh. I guess I would go horse head.
I would go horse head as well. I feel like that's more
Be
functional.
exactly. I feel like more people would want to approach you and pet a horse head versus a fish. No one really wants to go pet a fish
Would
or
it change?
interact with a fish.
Would it change your mind if I said you could breathe underwater?
Actually, that's immediately what I thought of. But then you'd be like, you'd have to. I mean, you have to stay in water though. That'd be the downside.
Yeah. Still no for me. I'm horse head all day, every day.
Yeah, and as soon as somebody realizes you're in the water, there's going to be fishermen trying to get you,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're going to be setting up nets and traps. The horse head's fine. Go put me in Colorado. I'm gonna live like a happy little horse up there. That one's good though. That one makes you think because I would assume though if you did pick the fish one, you could breathe underwater though. That'd be a perk.
Yeah.
But if you're the horse one, you'd still run at like normal human speed though.
Yeah, you wouldn't get the benefits of being a horse.
Yeah, it's really just like, oh, this is really inconvenient for me.
Mhm.
That's hilarious. I'm with you. I have a Halloween theme one.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
spooky season.
We probably
Okay.
should, I probably should have one.
Let me see. Actually, I have two more I want to do.
Okay.
So I have one, and this one is I'll save the Halloween one for last. There's mine. So in this scenario, I want to say though, I want to start in this. You interact with both of these things, and you'll know what I mean. So you find a cockroach while you're in the shower. So I want to say it like goes across your foot or up your leg or something. Or
Okay.
you find a mouse when you put your shoe on. So I want to say same thing. Your barefoot touches it and it runs
Okay.
out. Okay,
All right. Which one
that's
do I
it.
want?
Would you rather interact with a cockroach in the shower or essentially a mouse on your foot?
I'll take a mouse.
I think easily a mouse. I hate
Yeah.
cockroaches so much.
And plus, just being in the shower, it's just
You're
if
vulnerable.
you make a wrong step, you're lights out. Yeah.
Exactly. That's how you go. Is because I know I'd panic, especially one of those good sized cockroaches too.
Oh,
Not a
yeah.
little one, you know,
Yeah, we got
like
them
the
out here.
African hissing.
Yeah.
That was one I got because either one would be super uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, do not want that. No.
No, and I would say too. I think in both scenarios you do have a bare foot and it runs across and up your leg.
Ooh, I mean, I guess it just if it's because that mouse, that's pretty rough. It's a little bit bigger, but I still think the fact that I'm in the shower with the roach, I don't want to be in the shower with anybody. All right, I just want to. I'd rather take that mouse. I think.
But I agree because a cockroach too. Yes, you want to kill it, but you're also barefoot. I know you could get a shampoo bottle, but it's on you. You're gonna have to knock that off. You're not gonna wait to get one of those.
No.
I think it'd be horrible. Those just gross me out. Mouse too, disgusting. But then the problem with the mouse is once it runs away, it's in your house, and you're gonna have an issue having to find it. Where
That's
at
true.
least the cockroach be dead.
Yeah, but on the same note, I feel like if one a cockroach gets in your shower one time, every time you shower, you're like, I I think there might be another cockroach. Like you
I would
can't
have
close your eyes to wash
PTSD.
your hair for a while.
I got a weird little story to go off this. So before we left the hospital the other day, I was finally like, dude, I got a shower. Been here like a week, and I go and I start the shower, and I'm in there, committed. I'm already shampooing my hair, whatever. I look down and there's a gecko
In the
in the
hospital?
hospital shower.
Were you on the first floor?
No.
Not even.
It's like the third floor. But also, there's nowhere to put this gecko. I'm not like scared of him, but I was like, I don't want to drown you either.
Yeah, he just you don't want him to shower with you
Yeah,
because you don't want to have to keep
exactly.
an eye on him.
Yeah, I kind of want to be like, hey man, I'm gonna turn my back for like 30 seconds. Can you just go somewhere else? But anyway, I didn't know what to do because I was like, because he was like in the bathtub trying to climb up, but it was too slick and the water's approaching.
Yeah,
I didn't know what to do. So eventually he got out and went on his way, and I kind of just ignored him because it was our last day there, and I was like, you know what, you're somebody else's problem. I hope you live.
yeah. I've taken many geckos out of my house recently.
Yeah,
Add that to the discount.
right. Let's see.
So
That's true. That's true. Another house count.
I got my last one. So I'll probably just do the other one another time whenever we do Would You Rather again. Would you rather see what was behind every closed door or be able to guess the combination of every safe on the first try?
I think see behind every closed door because that's going to help you out in so many situations.
Okay, I'm glad that we kind of differ on this one so we can talk about it. I
Okay,
would love to guess the combination of every safe on the first try.
you're rich. Maybe.
I I don't know how many safes I'll come across, but if I have this power, I will find every safe.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't interact with them a lot now. You really have no reason to. But like, I'd be diving. I'd be going to those shipwrecks. Everything.
Yeah, I might be getting a job at the bank just to kind of get around that.
That's true. I think I don't know. Every closed door that would help you out so much, though. I
Yeah,
mean, even if it's like awkward social situations where you don't want to interact with somebody and you know they're in the room, you don't have to worry about going in.
that's good. I didn't even think about that.
I know it's very, very small, but also that'd be a handy little thing to have.
That's true. I can see the utility behind the closed door. I don't know. I guess once I guess the combination of every safe, every time I've seen a movie and they're like cracking the safe and I'm like, that's pretty dope. I wish I could do that. So I think maybe I'm just a little bit biased. Probably, I mean, I don't say not probably. 100% there's a lot more utility seeing behind the doors. I just think it'd be cooler to do the safe.
I think if you were able to like guess the safe on the first try, that'd almost be like a TV show when you're like the main character and that's
Yeah,
your thing. You know, like this guy, he just
like
rolls
I'm a
up and he's
detective.
like 776 and it's unlocked and they have the case like blown open now.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, that could be a good show. I'm also thinking I'll never forget my safe code. Like I
Oh,
can
that's
put it away
huge.
because even if someone's like you got to open your safe, like I actually never looked at the code, so I don't know what the code is unless
I
it's
just know.
then they know that I can open any safe.
You know, I know we talked about this in the past. I'd become super evil with that power though if you had that, and I'd be like, I'm robbing everybody.
Yeah, this would be the first time where I think I would side on that evil spectrum.
Yeah, I would have to because you just have a key to money essentially. You have to get away with it. That's the downside.
Yeah, like the jewel, and that was close to one of my other would you rather's that involved a get out of jail free card, which
Hmm.
I definitely want to bring up next time, but we'll tease it for now.
That's a good one. I don't know what that's going to be, but I'm
Yeah,
already intrigued with that one. It's going to be hard for me to not take the get out of jail for free one.
yeah,
Um, that's good. But really though, just being able to see around any corner, like I don't know. I just think it'd be really handy on a day-to-day basis. But I think overall, yours has a better payoff.
but what if you can only see what is physically behind the door?
What do you mean?
So I actually in my office where I'm at, the door kind of opens and then right into it is just the wall. So there's only like a 3 or 4 foot space that anything would be because like the
Hmm.
wall is almost the same size as the door. It's hard to
Yeah.
explain. I really want to pan the camera to see it, but
Hmm.
basically, if you had the power, you'd only see like 3 feet. So unless someone was standing behind the door, you couldn't see anything really.
So you're seeing. So you're basically saying like your eyesight is just the door and all the way from the door to the wall.
Like all doors become transparent to you.
So you'd have to almost like walk around to try to
Yeah,
get different angles. If I still think I'd take it. I think I'd take it because also if you were to become evil, you could not worry about getting caught by anybody. You can kind of pen around a little bit, and I don't know. I think I'd that would just help me more out in
yeah.
my life. I think.
We we would make quite the team. You would be the best lookout, and I'll just be the safe guy.
That's true. If we ever come across a genie, that's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna be rich.
Yeah,
Okay, I got.
if we ever start podcasting from a mansion, you'll know what happened.
Yeah, we've already established we were evil, got money. We're not gonna talk about how we got it. Let me see. I got one more, and I would save this one, but since it's kind of spooky season, I want to get it. Okay, you're famous, right? Would you rather be famous for outsmarting Jigsaw or Hannibal Lecter?
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
think
My
because it's yeah.
my immediate go-to is Hannibal. Or okay, I guess it depends on something, but I'll kind of explain why my immediate gravitation is toward Hannibal because he is like a genius, and if you
Mhm.
outsmart him, then okay, let me just explain why not Jigsaw, I guess. I don't really have much of an explanation other than bragging rights for Hannibal,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
Jigsaw, I don't want to be put in the situation where I'm interacting with him. So if I have to interact with both either way, I'd rather outsmart Jigsaw.
Well, and outsmart Jigsaw too, or Hannibal Lecter doesn't mean you didn't get tortured or some sort of horrible thing happen. You just eventually
Yeah.
outsmart these people.
I just I feel like Jigsaw, his baseline of torture is so much higher than Hannibal Lecter's.
I agree. I agree. Jigsaw 2 would be like essentially like I solved a huge riddle, but yeah,
That would
Hannibal Lecter would be like I am wicked smart now because I yeah your IQ would just be off the charts because he'd be super hard to outsmart. Where Jigsaw, you're gonna have probably have to be tortured by him to even interact with him, like you said.
yeah, I think Jigsaw uh well yeah, I think there would be the notoriety of, hey, this guy caught the Jigsaw killer. Like he just figured it out. Oh, did you even try John whatever his name? John whatever?
John, just John.
Sure, John Saw.
Well, but what if this changed it too, where like you got caught by Jigsaw, all that, you're in this little warehouse, it's all tricked out, but you didn't even get hurt. Like you figured out a way to outsmart everything, where you didn't even have a scar, where you just walked through that thing.
I think, yeah, I'm pivoting. I'm gonna go with Jigsaw for the notoriety afterwards and the possibility of not being tortured at all.
I think though, the police would be looking at you hard if you walk through that Jigsaw just perfectly fine. They'd be like, huh? So this guy, when everybody else like missing limbs, he just walked out fine, huh?
That is true.
Not even bleeding.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past. I mean, in those movies, yeah, that happens sometimes, and that's usually not a good guy who walks out.
They're gonna be like, no, that guy's Jigsaw. That's why he outsmarted him. I think Hannibal Lecter, though, just off of personal pride,
Okay, fair enough.
and I have a couple more, but I agree. I think we save them for later.
Okay, so on the other side of the ad, we're going to get to our draft. It is going to be the worst Halloween candy you want to
Mm-hmm.
see in your trick or treat bag. So we'll see you guys on the other side.
All right, and we're back from that ad. Now it is time to finish off the show with a draft. And today, following kind of our Halloween theme, it is a draft of the worst candies you'd get trick or treating. What you don't want, not your favorites, anything like that, but what you don't want in your trick or treat basket.
All right, I got some good ones, and I have one that is very controversial,
Mhm.
and we'll see when it comes out.
Okay. So I think draft. Okay, so 4 and 4. That's how the draft goes. We have 4 picks each. I think you just want to go back and forth on this one.
Oh, we got to do the snake draft.
Oh, okay, get lost in the snake draft though.
We'll see what we can do.
All right, who has first this time?
You got to intro, so you get the first pick.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'll go first. So this is almost like an anti-draft in a way. So one of my first ones is something you don't want, something I do not enjoy. This would be Twizzlers for me.
Twizzlers.
Yes,
I about Twizzlers.
I think Twizzlers are this garbage, rubbery candy that have no flavor and the texture's weird. They get tough, they're chewy, they're not good. There's so many more kind of like gummy
Yeah.
candies I'd rather have, and then don't even get me started on the black licorice edition. But I just don't like them. I don't think they taste good. I don't want them. Keep them out my trick or treat bag.
Yeah, we've come a long way since licorice. I don't know why they're still selling it. That's something that I
Who's
honestly,
buying it?
Yeah, I kind of like it, but I've never bought Twizzlers. But sometimes someone will have like the whatever 50-pound bag that it usually comes in because that's the
Yeah.
only way they can get rid of it. And then I'll eat them out of there. But other than that, I don't think I've ever paid for Twizzlers. I think that's a good pick.
And that is a good pick too, where it's like you're not just getting one Twizzler. It is it's like a 9-pound bag of them, and they're there forever, and they're horrible. So you should have this crappy candy forever.
Mm. Yeah, and they stay good forever too, so you can't like justify throwing them out. Like
That's
people
you got to keep them.
like the same Twizzlers from when they probably first moved into their house, and it's kind of like with their lawn equipment in the shed.
Yeah, it is. Your dad just grabbed like a Twizzler after he's done. He got 30 of them. All right. Well, all right. So what's yours? What would you
Okay,
not want in a trick or treat bag?
so my 102, I guess. You had the first pick, I have the second. I'm gonna take the worst candy. I don't know if you consider it candy, if you consider it um, a, a medicine that doesn't work. This might be the placebo pill that they give people, and
Okay.
it's Smarties.
It's Smarties. Is that what you said?
Smarties. Yeah, those like pastel, like sugar, but
Hmm.
doesn't taste like sugar. Garbage.
I that I disagree with that one. I think
Really?
Smarties are good. Now, I think Smarties don't need to be categorized in the sense of like candies like that, not compared to like chocolate necessarily, but in like those type
I'm
of
not
bags.
talking about sweet tarts. I don't. I hope we're not, like the ones that come in like the wrapper and
Oh,
the
you
on the
you
ends.
twist them open and there's like tons of yeah. No, those are
No,
delicious. Those are my
that's
favorites of like the little hard candy variety bags you get. Those are so good. But I feel like I am in the minority though, because a lot of times when I express this opinion, they're like, no, it's not good.
there's not even flavor though. It's just it tastes like dust. It tastes like sweet dust. Like someone swept the floor of like a bakery. That's what it tastes like.
And they just put them in little circles, they press them or something. Um, I agree, but it is scientifically proven that your IQ raises though with each one. So that's
It's I don't know if you're a. I think it was probably middle school when this happened when people found out you could like crush them a little bit, and then it looked like you were, yeah, you were smoking. So
yes. I never fake smoked a
yes,
Smarties, but I knew a lot of people that would do that.
yes, I never participated because based on the people who would do it, I was like, I am classified with them. I'm in trouble. I don't
It's
want.
that's the way that the Smarties actually make you more stupid. You have
Yeah,
to eat them. It doesn't work if you smoke them or snort them or whatever else you did. Try to pretend they're drugs.
yeah. So Smarties, terrible. I guess you disagree, but we'll keep. Oh, I get a
I
second.
want I want to say one thing on this though. That being said, I think the Sweet Tarts definitely have a better version of the Smarties.
Oh yeah, for
No
sure.
doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, I wouldn't put sweet tarts on my worst candy. I think they're pretty good. All right, so I get another pick, and there's a few. So I have my list, and I'm looking at my list, and all of these just make me sick almost.
I
Uh,
know it's a horrible list to look at.
and this is a candy I actually used to like. I really like these, but now just thinking of it just it would just ruin my day. Have you ever had the fireballs?
Yes, I didn't put that on my list, but that is very close to making my list.
Like that, there's probably 14 people in the United States who love just having their mouth burnt by their candy, and the fireball is what's going to do it. When I was going through that phase, and I really did enjoy them, I love the cinnamon. They were awesome, but now just who I can't imagine a kid opening up a fireball and being excited, especially if they don't know what it is, assuming it's a jawbreaker. They're in for a rude awakening.
That's true. All of a sudden, your candy is torturing you. You're having a good Halloween. You put two fireballs in your mouth and you're done. Your eyes are watering. You're red.
Yeah,
I agree. That's got too much flavor. That's just they're going over the top. That's some like extra Willy Wonka stuff they're pulling with that.
yeah, that does seem like a Willy Wonka creation where he just said, you know what, we don't have yet something that hurts when you eat it.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like they're in the chocolate factory and some kids, pulling a shenanigans, acting up, and he's like, "Fine, you know what? Taste it. It's a little hot." And it like turns him red. He's on fire or something.
That's good. I think that might be in the knockoff Willy Wonka. I think we we table that for later.
That's true. Let's might be onto something. Might be producing a movie soon.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's another good one. All right, so my pick. I got two picks now.
we have two picks.
Okay, And I'm going with something too that very similar to yours. I feel like I used to enjoy more as a kid, but now I don't. And it is Double Bubble.
Oh, that's one I actually had on my list.
It's good for 3 seconds, and if it's not super fresh, it's gonna break your tooth by how hard those things get. They're not that good, and like they last for seriously 3 seconds. Like the first bite, initial
Yeah.
bite's like all right. After that, you're chewing on nothing. And don't you agree? When they're not fresh, they are hard as rocks.
Yeah. Oh man, I've had many experiences with them. That was actually one of my I'm agreeing with you now, but it was one of my favorite candies when I would play like Little League. I guess it wasn't candy, but just like I remember like the concession stand had like the box, it was about this big and
Yeah,
1,500 flavors. So you would just grab like a handful for like $1. And yeah, you would have to have a handful to last you for a T-ball game, which is like 5 innings. Uh,
exactly. You got to look like you have a baseball in your mouth to have flavor for 1 minute.
Yeah, so definitely not what you would want in a trick or treat bag. Just not good.
But I agree with you on the baseball field. That is a good one. I was always a fan of the what
Big
was it
league.
called? Yeah, big league chew. That's the way to go.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was supposed to essentially just be kid tobacco,
Yeah,
but now that I know, I actually don't know how to feel. I just think that's a very interesting marketing ploy.
I agree, and I definitely took the bait. All right, so next, so I've had Twizzlers. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stay on this subject of gum and go with Bazooka gum. Do you know what that is?
I will give you gum as a pick in general if you want it.
Okay, okay, I'll do gum. Well, I'm gonna time this in real quick.
Oh,
It's those little square ones that are
yeah,
cartoon that are from like the 1940s that are garbage as well.
yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. It
Mhm.
almost tastes like the stuff you would get in baseball cards.
It truly it tastes like a baseball card. I think a baseball card would have more flavor than Bazooka gum. Okay, so I got gum. Then I'm gonna go with this next, and I have a good feeling we're gonna disagree on this one. Almond Joys. I do not want an almond joy in my bag. Anytime I look down, see the little fun-sized blue candy, I'm gonna throw it. That's
I
ridiculous.
love almond joy, love mounds. I don't
No,
know. It's coconut, it's almond, it's chocolate. I mean, it's just a good treat, and it's not super sweet. And
no,
I love the taste of coconut. I love chocolate. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. And it's funny you mentioned that because it was also on when I was just looking up lists of Halloween candy, and almond joy was like on someone else's list. And I was like, who doesn't like this?
because it's nasty. It's a nasty candy. Like you said, it's not very sweet. You even just said that yourself. It's just I don't know, just the combo, not about it. The texture's weird. I'm also not a big coconut fan though, so I'm sure that plays a factor into it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not a coconut fan, then yeah, almond joy is probably terrible. But I feel like
Hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like it's so good. Maybe it's just because I'm a coconut fan. I don't know. I
But
live on the island time.
right, but since I'm not a coconut fan, you always get like the variety bags of candies, and they're always solid, solid, solid. Then you see almond joy, and it's like it's like a third of the bag.
Nah, couldn't be. I love almond joy.
Uh,
Um,
so you got
I'll.
next.
I don't think it would be on my draft of best candies, but I'm not saying it's not in the top five. Maybe in
Hmm.
top. Um, I know I'm gonna get my controversial pick in the fourth round, so I'm not gonna blow it just yet. I guess I have my last two right now, anyways. All right. I'm between two. I'm going to go Three Musketeers.
No, I'm gonna slap you. I'm about to end this podcast. That is my favorite candy.
Favorite candy.
That's such a good candy.
It is chocolate air.
No, it's delicious chocolate air. That
I,
little nougat in the middle. Oh my gosh, that's the best candy on the market.
oh, then just wait till you hear my next one.
Okay,
I guess if that's your favorite, then this won't be as bad. I really don't care for Snickers.
okay, we're done. The podcast Audible Diversion's dead right now. No more. How do you not like Snickers?
It's maybe it's I don't know because if I want a chocolate candy, I want Twix, I want Kit Kat, I want Crunch Bar, I want M&Ms. Like it is just so far down that I get disappointed that it took up one of my chocolate candy spaces in my bag.
So you're telling me if you have a Crunch Bar versus Snickers, you're taking a Crunch Bar?
Oh yeah, every day, twice on
No,
Sunday.
no. No. Those are good. I'm not knocking Crunch bars. Those are fine. They're kind of middle of the road. They're not bad. But nobody takes Crunch bars over Snickers. They're
I
like the remaining.
both of those candies, when I see them, I am disappointed. I'm like a disappointed father. Like my Twix is my professional athlete, and then the other two, I don't know. I don't, they're not a professional athlete. So I mean, you're gonna
Okay,
be disappointed. You're not gonna show it. You still love them because they're your candies. They're chocolate. But
they
I
do
mean,
the job.
obviously, you're gonna hang out with Kit Kat.
Okay, what if you got 3 Snicker bars though, and 1 mini Crunch bar? What would you take? 3
One,
full-size Snickers bars.
one mini Crunch bar.
No, that's ridiculous.
I will take.
That's
I will take
terrible.
mini almond joy over 3 full-size Snickers.
No. That's a hot take right there.
I will give you the peanut butter Snickers is okay. That's as much as I'll give Snickers.
I haven't had that one. I didn't know that existed.
hmm It's,
Um,
it's it's not bad.
if you're listening to the podcast right now, please keep going, even though you want to turn it off after Logan's ridiculous takes with that. Three
I,
Musketeers, I do feel minority though. Back to that subject, I've always loved them, but I didn't realize until I got older where people were like, I don't really care for them, and I didn't realize that.
yeah, it was between really Three Musketeers and Milky Way, but I've kind of come around to Milky Way.
Okay, so I feel like Milky Way and Snickers are like the same.
Yeah, I know, and I don't really care.
The Milky Way one too, that's like the extra caramel version is delicious.
Yeah, so I kind of went with when you're right. Milky Way and Snickers are almost the same candy. I just went with the more incendiary take
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with Snickers because
Uh,
well,
Well, I'll tell you what, both of those would have been on my want to see in my trick or treat bag. So next I have one more. Yeah.
you got your last pick.
My last pick, and this one's tough. I have an honorable mention I want to mention after this because these two are pretty neck and neck. Pixie sticks.
I was thinking of drafting those. Um,
I,
I
I
wish I
don't want one.
just to take them from you.
I don't want one of these small little sticks that's usually bent a little bit where I'm just taking a
Uh,
shot of sugar
yeah.
that tastes faintly of strawberry.
Preaching to the choir on this one. That is terrible. And the worst part is, if you have a pixie stick, you probably also have a broken pixie stick, and your bag is just covered in sugar.
You have a dust filled bag. It's almost like those fancy cookies where you brush like sugars on top till they roll them in. That's what your bag looks like
Wait,
by the time.
wait, what was that?
So like the cookies when you make them really fancy, they'll like before you put them in the oven, you roll them in sugar, so it's got
Huh?
like a dusting of it. Yeah, that's
No.
the key. That's how I make my sugar cookies that I bragged about. Edible diversion.
Okay. Well, another thing. We'll put a pin in that. That will be a conversation, probably off air. We'll have to.
I agree with that. Circle back to that later. But Pixie Sticks, yeah. Anytime anybody in the history of the world has been in the mood for candy, no one has been like a Pixie Stick. That is what I need right now.
No, that and also in the same vein, that I think most like amusement parks have like the pixie stick vending machine, Coca-Cola Freestyle-esque, where oh, that shouldn't be legal. That should not, and
No,
it's the cheapest candy too. So I mean, most of the kids who have like $3 left because they spent it on drinks and stuff, they're gonna just have a yardstick of sugar, and that's just it's not good.
that's exactly what it is. It still tastes crappy whether I have a pound of it or a shot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a horrible one. What honorable mentions did you have, if any?
Pixie Sticks, had you not taken it, I was going to bring them up. And another one that I kind of wanted to bring up, but I wasn't sure if this is actually exists, and it's peppermints. I don't know if anyone's ever given a peppermint as Halloween candy. That's why I didn't draft it. But if you do, you're canceled.
That's a Christmas candy.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I feel like that probably has happened, and that would be like, oh, cool, I got a peppermint, like the little circle
Yeah.
ones you get at restaurants.
Or even the chocolate peppermint. I guess I can kind of see that, but still, that would be terrible to get.
That's some like old lady candy they dish out.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of candy like your parents made you go to the neighbor who's an old lady. So you got to go be nice to her. She's gonna hand you peppermint chocolate.
Yeah.
for Halloween. No. Um. Okay, so I had. Do you have anything else?
I had a few more, but you had one and that you were fighting with pixie sticks that I'm looking forward to hear.
Okay. Dots.
Okay. We're
Dots.
gonna
The little.
disagree
You
again.
know it. You know
I
it. The little yellow
yeah,
box.
yeah, no, dots. I will trade for dots. I will trade Snickers for dots.
Oh my gosh.
I
You're getting taken advantage of.
it can it's another, and we talked about this on one of our edible diversions where a lot of my favorite foods ended up just being foods that no one else liked because I could eat more of them. Dots
Yeah.
was a big one. So some people would even like throw away their dots. So like, I don't even want these. I'm like, no, bring them here. So I have grown very fond of dots.
They coat your teeth, and you had a like one dot 4 hours to go, and you're gonna fill it on like your wisdom teeth back there because it's gonna be stuck. It's gonna be like molded on top of it. It's part
Yep,
of you now. It's part of your mouth after you eat a dot.
it's the fruity milk dud. I
Oh,
love the
oh,
fruity.
milk duds. I haven't had a milk dud in a while, but
I like those.
on that same vein, thoughts on Junior Mints. I love them.
Junior mints, love junior mints.
Yep, yep.
That's
They're
my
pretty good. But
go-to candy. If I have probably between Junior Mints and M&M's is my movie candies.
I have that peanut M&Ms and then the sweet tart ropes. Those are my three kind of like I'll usually get one of those three depending on what they have.
Yeah.
And then I have one more, and then I'm done with my honorable mentions.
Okay.
You can go. I have. I don't know if you remember these. I don't even know how I would get them. I've never seen anybody buy them. They would appear. They're little black pieces of candy, and they're little orange pieces of candy, like they're wrapped in orange or black, and they're like peanut butter.
No. I
No,
maybe if I saw one, I probably odds are I've had this before. I just couldn't tell you. I can't really think about
I think you'd recognize it because it's usually there. People buy it to set out, but no one ever wants to eat one. It's almost like a decorative candy.
it. Okay.
I'll tweet out a picture of that later, and then you'll look it up, and I bet you would recognize it. I had to look up the name of it because I didn't know how to describe it, but they're like a variety of black wrapped and orange wrapped, like peanut something hard candy.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yep, horrible candy. Don't want it. So, what's yours?
I have I guess no, we've gone over all the ones that because actually this is probably the first time where you've drafted things that I've had on my list. Like I
Mm-hmm.
had gum in general. That's why I let you just take it because I would have just taken gum.
Yeah.
Um, and then Pixie Sticks was on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Now I had saltwater taffy, and I actually like saltwater taffy, but when you think about opening your bag and seeing it, you don't want it because
I
there's
want to
so many
get
better ones to get.
I agree. I want to get saltwater taffy when I'm like going to a place like a state fair. I'll bring some back, or
Yeah,
like if a place is famous for taffy, I'll get a bag. But I want to specifically want that bag, not at Halloween. You're right. Don't want that in my bag.
yeah. Because I just a lot of my picks were if I could have something else, I would rather have something else. Like saltwater taffy, if I saw it, I would much rather even have like Skittles. I'm not a huge fan of Skittles, but I would rather have Skittles than saltwater taffy.
I agree with you. And saltwater taffy is kind of like double bubble, where if it's not fresh, it's going to be hard as a rock. It's kind of chip your tooth. But that being said, on Skittles, I'm like neutral. I really don't want them. I'm kind of given Skittles, I feel like, but I do like the sour ones. But same thing, I don't think I've actively ever bought a Skittle.
Yeah, if I had to pick, yeah, Skittles, yeah, I don't really like, but if I had to choose, it would probably be the sour ones. Did you ever try the chocolate ones that they made for a little bit?
No, I wasn't even aware of it because I'll just go M&Ms.
Yeah, no, they were, it was weird. It was very disconcerting having a chocolate Skittle. You put the Skittle in your mouth and there's chocolate, not, that's why they're discontinued.
I don't need that. This being said, though, in this conversation, I might be purchasing a bag of Skittles in the near future because I haven't had them in seriously years, and I might just I need one bag and I'll be good until I'm 50.
That's honestly what it is. Yeah. During Halloween, I get two minis and then that's it. I'll be good till next Halloween.
And one more candy thought.
Okay.
So M&Ms, don't they taste better in the little tubes?
The minis,
Hmm.
or just you mean in general?
I mean, I think M&Ms in general taste better in the little tubes, but I think it's a kid thing. Like adults don't really buy the tubes anymore, but as a kid, I love like popping
Yeah.
that thing open and taking it like a shot of M&Ms.
Oh yeah, no. As a kid, yes, because that's how I eat M&Ms now. Is just I have a handful, pop them in. Like I'm filling my mouth with M&Ms when I eat them. That's the only way.
That's a weird adult move to get.
Yeah, that it's something else. The only reason I buy them is for just the mini, because the minis only come in those, and
Yeah.
sometimes so
And I really enjoy like just the act of popping the lid too.
yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's pretty candy delivery system.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, that's our draft. That's our anti-candy draft, I guess. The worst candies. Let us know what you think, what we missed, what takes we had that you didn't agree with. All things candy, open game.
Yeah, look on our social medias for the draft list so you can vote. You can let us know how bad I beat Shawn with my sweet picks. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. As always, though, hit subscribe for us. We're gonna start, like we mentioned in the first part, getting our audibles out weekly. I think we're gonna have kind of an underlying Halloween theme probably for the next couple episodes. Don't forget the movie we're viewing, Logan.
The Haunting of Deborah Logan.
Hmm.
Follow our socials. If you want to reach to me directly, probably DM on Instagram will be the best way. We both check our email, which is
Hmm.
audiblediversionpodcast@gmail.com right now. You want to talk to Shawn, he's over running the Twitter. I believe it's still Audible D Pod, right?
Hmm. With our new logo, though, which
Yes.
Logan actually came up with, really cool. It's kind of a silhouette of Logan's red beard, and
Yeah.
then it has my black hair and glasses kind of separate. Really cool. Check it out.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate your feedback on that. Check us out on YouTube. I'm going to try and get this episode published since we're probably going to do audible diversions on Skype going forward. We're probably going to start posting them on YouTube around the time, and they should publish around the time that it would come out in the audio form. And I believe that's everything. We went over the schedule, socials. Next week we're going to be talking about the Haunting of Deborah Logan. We got some more Halloween drafts. We got some more segments for you guys. Check us out on YouTube. I got nothing else. What do you think?
Yeah, lots of good stuff to be excited for. In the meantime, have a good week, and hopefully this audible diversion makes it go by a little bit better.
All right, stay spooky.
All right, later, guys.